Good morning and happy Valentine's Day. Wonder how many of us have actually been said Happy Valentine's Day by the one we love, of course. Some of us. So, good morning, everyone. Morning, Pat, Anne, June, Cynthia, Carol, Sarah, Julie, Barbara, Karen, Anita, Shirley, Pat, Jackie, May. Lovely to see you all here, and to see some different products here today. So I'm going to be using a paper cuts die, not a new one, one that I haven't used myself, but not a new one. And this one is called Specimen Rose Edger, which is rather lovely. And I'm going to team it with some of the Rococo Splendour sentiments from Sentimentally Yours, Phil Martin, which have been out a couple of weeks, I think. So I thought I'd like to show some of those as well. So without further ado, I will get to and show you what I plan to do. Okay. So I have taken an 8x8 card. So that's my card blank. Now I am going to be using red, and I know that red doesn't come up very well on my monitor for some reason or other, so I do apologise, but I'm sorry, red it has got to be. Now that looks black. Let's see if I can get a sheen to it, a shine to it. That's better. You can see it's red now, can't you? So this is a matte mirror card, which I think is rather lovely. So it means that you can see some light on it, but it's not reflected back. And I think that being it's Valentine's Day, that's what we're going with. So my 8x8 card, and I've got two pieces here already cut out that are 17 centimetres by 17 centimetres. And I'm using the coconut white card, so that's sort of like an off-white rather than a bright white. Okay, so I need those in a second. Also wanted to show you that I've made myself a frame up already. Again, lots of videos I've done which shows you how to do a frame, and there's other aspects that I wanted to show you today, and so I didn't really want to show you how to do the frame again, but if you wish, it's on catch up on YouTube's and various different places. So what I've done with it is I've done an outline frame of the beautiful red, and then I have put the inner frame with the Presscut stitch dot nesting dies, square dies of the coconut white, and I've already, look at this, so prepared. I've already put some foam on the back of that, so that's, you know, not going to be our main thing that we're going to do. So I'm going to put that safely to one side, as I am the card base just at the moment. So that's all ready to go, but that is ready to go in just a minute. So now, cheekily, I took my inner piece of the white frame, so the frame that I cut out from here, this piece here. I want a spare one of these, and so what I've done with that is I've just simply taped it top and bottom, and I'm going to run that through my machine, and that will give you a chance to see how pretty it is. But we're going to do a little bit more to it today, so I'm just going to run that through. And this piece is not going to be the piece that I'm using as such. I'm using it, but it's not going to be my main feature. So just going to run that through, and then you can see how beautifully this comes out. So I've just stuck it down there, and like so. And I just need to take all my little bits out of my die. So just do that. We don't need all the little bits in because we want to cut this once more, and then we're going to do a little bit of embossing with it as well. So get us, eh? How exciting. Right, so here is my beautiful piece cut out, but I'm just going to snip here and at the top piece here, because I don't want that bit there. And I don't need all of this bit. So this is a piece that's a spare piece as such. And I will explain that in just a little while. In actual fact, you could use it for another card. So let us show you what I mean. So with our paper cuts edges, they all have what I call a little lug, which is up here and down here. This is sort of like a what would you say? A sort of I can't think of the word. What's the word? Now I've got to wait for you to think of the word. Are you going to tell me what I need to know? A sort of like starting and stopping place. I can't think of the right word. So that shows you the top and the bottom. And so what I've done, first of all, I've taken my piece of card, as I say, which was 17 by 17, and I'm going to, with a pencil and my ruler, make a little mark at the top only, halfway. So halfway from the 17 is 8.5, and I'm just going to pop a little pencil mark at the top, which will determine halfway from my piece of card. And then when I turn this over, I'm going to, what we're saying, hinge, guide, off the edge, registration mark. I don't know what you call it, but anyway, it's going at the top. So turn this over, so that's the cutting edge down. This little lug, I'm calling it a lug. This, I know what it's called, locating point. It's called a locating point. So this locating point lug is going to go over the top of this middle bit here, and you will see that that line is completely flat. Yeah, the very edge of it is completely flat, and so I am then going to put that flat edge on the flat edge of my card, covering my halfway mark. Okay, then I'm going to take some tape. I'm going to pop that into position there. So that's absolutely right. And then that way, my flower die will find its own way, if you see what I mean. So this little bit down here will find where it should be. Okay, my locating point. But obviously that one's been cut at an angle. And if I put it so that that one was straight, it would be really on the wonk. So that's the straight edge that I want to go by. So this is my piece that I've cut out ready, and I'm just going to pop that through. Whoops, like that. Just send that through my machine. There you go. Locating point. I don't know what we'd call it, but whatever. We all know what we're talking about, don't we? So that's good. That's good. Okay, so here's my piece cut out now, and I'm just going to prise that off from the top and the bottom. Just gently push my pieces out. Come on, that's it. You've got to talk to it nicely, I find. It's all my little bits, and again, I'm just going to follow the same lines as this, and I'm just going to snip at the bottom so that actually loosens this bit, and snip at the top. So carefully prise that off. This is going to be the piece that I need to use. So pop that to one side. Now then, with my beautiful red matte finished card, I'm going to emboss this piece. So I'm just going to make sure that all the little bits are out of this die, because I don't want to be using that. So let's just take all these little bits out. So these paper cut edger dies are very pretty. There's all different sorts of designs, and I'm not quite sure how old this one is actually, but I've just come across it and I just think it looks really pretty. And as it's Valentine's Day, that's what we're going for. Pretty. So I'm going to do the same, whereby I'm going to measure this. It's the same measurements, 17 by 17, but I want to make my mark at 8.5, halfway, for my die to go on. So I'm then going to make sure get around the right way. So this is my straight edge again. I'm going to do exactly the same, that my straight edge is going to go onto the straight edge of the top of my card, and then I'm going to pop that halfway. So that is again exactly in the same place. Use another bit of tape to put that on. Now this is the fun bit, because I want to emboss it. I don't want to cut it out. Now, if all else fails, you can use this so that you can paper piece with it, but I want to emboss it. So this is what I'm going for. So if you have noticed, I usually use different embossing, different cutting plates for my Geminis. The Gemini is the one that I use at the moment, and so this is for embossing. I have to change my plates and I have to go back to my Gemini plates. Now every machine has a different way of working, and I do suggest that you have a bit of a practice with a scrap piece of card, if you wish, before you actually cut out anything that's a bit precious, because you might find that you get too much pressure and it's cut out and whatever. So I have got my clear Gemini plate, and I'm going to put in my magnetic sheet. It's not because I need a magnetic sheet, it's purely because I found that that thickness seems to work well. I'm then going to take my pre-prepared die shape here, and I'm going to turn it over so that my cutting edge is now facing upwards. I'm then going to take one of the Crafts 2's rubber mats, and I'm going to pop that over the top of that. Now I could probably, if I had such a thing, which I have, but I've no idea where that is, I could be using the sandwich for the ordinary Gemini and whatever, but I don't do things like that. So cutting plate is now up, then the card, then this, and then my other clear plate on top of it. Now keep your fingers crossed now for me. I'm going to run that through the machine. The card stock that I'm using is a 300, I think, GSM, so it's a rather thick card, but hopefully gives a good finish. So we take this off, and you can hopefully see that you've got that embossed bit on that side. And then I'm going to carefully take that off. We don't need that bit anymore. Turn it over, and we have got now our beautiful rose, but it's now embossed onto there. If I was fussy, well, not fussy, I don't think it has cut completely, but no, it hasn't. So, and that's what I didn't really want it to do that. So it has worked quite well. There you go. So then this beautiful piece can come in and fit exactly over the top of here, so that the embossed pieces, I don't know if you can gather that. Can you see that up here, the embossed pieces are actually poking through from there, which gives a really nice finish. Now, try as you might, you will probably not get it absolutely exact, so that is fractionally come to one side. However, because we've got the frame that's going to go over the top of that, it isn't a problem, because we're going to hide any abnormalities that might have occurred. But I've not quite finished, so I'm going to take this beautiful embossed piece and put that to one side, but I'm going to bring back my piece that was what I would call my scrap piece. Okay, now I'm going to bring in a piece of paper and just pop that underneath there so that I can work with that quite well. And I have got with me a Distress ink in Barn Door, which is probably the closest to the red that I'm using. Pulling my sleeves up now, meaning work. I'm going to get myself I'm just looking for one. Just make sure that this one hasn't got any grungy colours on. Hold on. I'm going to get myself a blending brush, and I'm going to pick up some of this lovely red, and I'm just going to pop it onto there so that I know it's going to be red when it goes on, but actually I'm almost going to take off. I just want to sort of load it up, but then there hardly be any on there at all. So I'm then going to take my scrap piece, and I'm going to take it to where the rose is, where the flower is, and I'm going to come along the edge of this one and very gently use this flower as if it's a stencil. Can you see that now? So the beautiful rose that is this rose is now just stenciled into this corner. And then I'm going to bring it in. I might have enough on here, so I don't want to keep loading it because I want it's a hint of a rose as opposed to a huge rose. Can you see that now? I'm coming down that side. And then down here a little bit. And I haven't inked this up at all. If I need to, I will. But I will also make sure that I'm rubbing a lot of it off because I just want almost like a ghostly appearance, if you could call it that, of a rose as we're coming down there. Okay. And I'm just going to go along this edge, perhaps a bit bigger there. Just a ghostly thing. So just using this as a stencil so that you've then got all the way around that very pretty but just very delicate same rose, so it's the same flower. Looks quite nice. And then in the center of this one, just going to go over it gently so that again there's just a hint of colour. Not put any more ink on, just that initial bit, but just a hint of colour on that rose. Okay, so I could still use this, and I could use this for another one. If I show you on there, you can see that that's the bit, just the bit that I've been using, and in actual fact that makes a nice card still. If I hadn't already got muck on it, would do anyway. But I could put roses on there as well. So that's almost a 2 for the price of 1, isn't it? So there we've got our beautiful piece of card. And before we go any further, I want to put a sentiment on it. So the sentiments that I've got, as I said, are the new Sentimentally Yours ones, which are the Rococo Splendour. So I've used the essential ones because they are your basic ones. So happy birthday on your special day, just for you. Just a note to say, have a wonderful day on your birthday. Birthday wishes to someone special, best wishes with love, and to a something friend, to a special friend. There we are. I knew what it would be. So I'm going to look at this piece to see where I want to put my sentiment, and I'm hoping to put something down this corner here. So I need to find something that fits in, and I'm hoping that maybe just for you. Oh goodness, on your special day. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? I think I'm going to go, where's it gone? On your special day. So I'm going to go for that one. Beautiful font on this. So I'm going to take in my stamping platform, pop my piece into place, cover it up to protect it with a piece of the clear templates, and then I'm just going to make sure that my sentiment's going to fit in there, which looks rather lovely. Close it up, pick it up, and then I can remove my clear template, and I'm going to ink it with a morning mist, so it's not black, it's grey, and I think that will probably look better than I was going to go for a reddy colour, but I don't know about you. but I often find with reds that they can be like not right. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes they can look too red, too pink, too whatever. And I think that a grey probably looks quite nice. So there we are, all stamped up with "On Your Special Day." Just get I will put that away, I promise. But for now, I'm just going to put that to one side. So now we're going to pop this, bring back our embossed sheet. I'll put the lid back on there, otherwise you know what'll happen, don't you? And that is now all ready to go into place. So it sort of almost locks into place. And as I said, although this edge isn't quite straight, it isn't a problem because it's actually going to be covered. So we now need to get some glue onto the back of this and put that down. I think I'm going to use sticky specs. It's cheating a bit, but I want it to look all right. So I'm just going to put my rose predominantly, because that's the bit. Get that with sticky on there. So that just picks that up. Peel that off. And then I can just put an ordinary bit of glue on that side there, just to hold that down. Okay. Bring back my piece here. And then just hover it over more or less before I finally stick it down to know that I've got it in the right place. And wherever the embossed bits are, that will now be pushed through, and I'll show you in just a second. Hopefully I will be able to show you. So let me just, can you see that now, that actually pushes through rather than, because you've embossed it, so you've got a debossed that side, and now you've got an embossed that side. So that's coming through nicely, giving it a lot of definition. June, what's ootiful supposed to mean? No, I can see it's supposed to be beautiful. You missed your bees. But it looks nice, doesn't it? Gives a really, really nice effect. I mean, these paper edger dies are supposed to be done so that you have got an edger of so you get your ordinary card and you just pop one of them on, and that's the edger of your card. And that's lovely, but I just think that that looks really nice with that, personally. So let's just form our card together now. So here is our 8x8 card, and I'm going to pop that into the middle there, just checking everything before I stick anything down. And then when I put my frame onto the top, just going to wiggle that down a little bit before I do. A minute. Because there you go, more or less, nearly there. Doesn't that look nice? I have to say, I think that looks nice. Looks very pretty. So let's stick this down. So just a bit of glue straight down onto the back of my embossed piece. And something with the dies that most of us just don't do is emboss. To use the die as an embossing piece. And not every die is suitable or ideal for it, but I do think that this one really makes a nice finish to it. So we've used this die, this paper cut edger die, for all sorts of things. We've cut an edge out of it, we've embossed with it, and we've used it as a stencil. So all things that could be used, we have done. How about that? Then take the tape off the back of my frame. And I'm going to pop a little bit of extra glue on there just to be on the safe side, because we want it to stay stuck, do we not? So as I said, all paper cut edges work in exactly the same way. And another time I've got another design idea for a different paper cut edger, but today we've got this one. So I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm hovering and hoping that this is over the middle, which I reckon it is. So leaving a bit of a border all the way around. I'm just going to push down there onto my frame. I've put a 3mm foam on it so that it brings it up, not massively, but enough. I prefer when I'm doing frames to use a 3mm, and when I'm just trying to actually lift something up, just a 2mm. So there you go. So let me just show you this close up. So you've got this. I'm hoping that this is showing as nice as it is. It's certainly glinting back. So this is a matte finish piece of card. If you used your mirror card, if that's what you've got, that looks lovely as well. You might need to change the colour of your card here, so you might not notice quite so much if you were doing it with a coconut white onto a silver, but it still looks nice. Then I have used my paper cut edger, which is called the Specimen Rose edger. And as I said, it can not only be an edger die, which I've used it as, but I've then embossed it and use that as the background, but also then pushing these beautiful leaves back up so that they push back up through the design, which I think looks lovely. And I've also then used it, a spare one, as making these very pretty stencil type thing. I mean, you could use other stencils, but I just thought, well, I've got it there really, so yeah, why not use it there? It would be ideal, wouldn't it, for an anniversary card, a ruby anniversary. Let me just show you. I did cut it out, show you some samples. I did cut it out in silver, which obviously glints back, but where's my spare piece? Hold on. So this was my rough piece, which obviously was not cut out. But you can see that if you did it in silver, that would also look lovely for silver wedding anniversary, or gold for a golden, or just saying, hello, how are you? I'm thinking about you and I'm sending you flowers because I can't get out to get your ordinary flowers, but I'm sending you a flower. And if you just chose that with, oh, hold on, I was going to show you a red bit, which is not, there we are. If you just put that onto a red background, that also looks nice. And you could just not, if you don't feel happy about doing your embossing, you could just put that onto a red background. You can do your stenciling on that side like I did, and then just put your sentiment on. I'm just sort of showing you a different way of doing it. These beautiful colour cards, there might be some also beautiful colours, other colours coming very soon, so watch out. But I haven't got them just at the moment. So I hope you've enjoyed today's cards and also different ways of using it, and maybe, hopefully, making you think of different ways that you can use it, because that's what they're all about. Get your money's worth out of it. If there is anything that you would like today, I do have some of the sentiments, and there are quite a few of the beautiful roses. I was going to say a dozen red roses, but there's plenty available over on the website at maximumcrafts.com, and they are all in the Facebook Live section, which I know sounds silly being that we're on YouTube, but believe me, that's where they are if you would like to look at them. So you know where to go. I will be back on Wednesday, excuse me. I'll be back on Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock with some other deliciousness to show you. I'm not quite sure whether I said it on Friday when I spoke to you, but the naughty gnomes have finished playing with the naughty pixies and they are in the building. So they will be going out to all those people who have been waiting so patiently for the gnomes to come back into stock. And all the pre-orders are ready to go out to you first thing tomorrow morning. So they will be on their way, as will many other things. So thank you so much for your orders. I will be working the staff diligently to get going. Although he has been quite good, the electrics saga is doing well, apart from the fact, which has nothing to do with it, our freezer has decided to pack up. So we are struggling a bit with, it's a good job it's cold outside because we're having to put our food outside the back door, which is a nightmare, but hopefully we get that sorted. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope that you might find something to tickle your fancy, so to speak. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the weekend. I'll be popping this onto the YouTube section and putting the link on the Facebook group so that you can always go back and have a look and see what I've been up to. And perhaps, oh, everything's going to fall. Perhaps have a look in slow motion what we got up to. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Yeah, I get it. I hope I get it sorted soon. At least I haven't got 24 degrees like I understand you may well have from our relatives that are out there. So take care and thank you very much. Hope to see you Wednesday. Bye.